I think it was like around this time or maybe a little bit later that you and I started to work together. And I am wondering, like, what was the catalyst for you to be like, this isn't sustainable, or I don't want it to be this way, or doesn't need to be this way, or let me seek out some like additional resources to make a change. Like, what was the pivot point for you to go and do something differently?
Yeah, I actually remember it like to the day. So I had been thinking
Really?
about yeah, I remember I was actually, when I reached out to the person that had connected us, I was in the parking lot picking up a pizza for my daughter. I was super pregnant, getting ready to go out on maternity leave. And I thought, I don't want to come back and feel like this anymore because I'm going to have two kids, two and under, and working in this way. um and I couldn't figure out what I was missing, and I kept thinking maybe it's, and this is not to say anything, like a startup, you don't go in a startup to be mentored and to be coached, and you don't have that, like, nobody has the time. We're all just kind of fighting to keep the lights on and keep things moving, and just to, like, first 5 years of a startup, it's like that's kind of critical. So, and I knew that, but I was missing some piece of it that was self development, right? Like, I was losing a little bit of my confidence. I was doubting myself, and I wasn't able to. I felt like there was a point where I had done all this stuff, and I had people telling me, like, oh my God, there's only one person in that marketing team. I saw your booth here or this and that. And I'm seeing this all over in the press, and your founders are on these like, everything was blowing up. But I kept thinking to myself, like, I didn't feel the connection to the success. I kind of felt like I was I was losing myself. I didn't have the confidence, no matter how much work, no matter how much success had been done. I still was kind of like, how do I get back to where I was? Because I felt like I was losing that. And I couldn't I couldn't figure out why. So I had been connected to you, and then I think we started our work together, gosh, I think maybe a couple of months after I came back to work full time from having my second daughter. And I just knew, like, either I have to figure something out here and, like, get somebody to help me get out of this. Is this burnout? Is this
Mm.
or yeah, like, I just need some professional leadership help, development. I need somebody to, like, help me understand my self-worth again, and help me advocate for myself, and take better care of myself, and you know, ask for what, just knowing my worth and being able to articulate that. Like, I I couldn't even tell you that before we did our work together. And then after, I it was like a new door opened for me, and it was a completely different. I felt like that was a pivotal moment in my career trajectory, because for once in my life, I could actually talk about, I could understand my worth, and I was back to kind of being myself again, and try, coming into preparing myself for a bigger role in leadership, and learning how to just lead in my own authentic way.
I loved the work that we did together, and it is one of those things where it was so clear to me, so obvious to me, like how incredible you were and how capable you were and how much you had built in this company that you were working in, that I was like, oh, this is obvious. Like, yeah, you should see it too. And so, like, just working through that, I think a couple of the things, and I'd love to hear a little bit about like what you felt like was really helpful in our experience working together. I know we did some work around, values and strengths. And also, like, what's interesting is that moment that you had in the parking lot, right, picking up the pizza there was this like juxtaposition between like the feedback you were getting from people about how amazing, you know, your work has been and your contributions, and the feeling that you had internally of like not recognizing that. One of the exercises that we did together, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, was like the reflected best self exercise, where other people are telling stories about you and talking about you at your best and what you've done. And in a way that almost mirrors, you know, it mirrors kind of one of the reasons that you decided you wanted to change something in the first place. Cause it's like, all these people see this thing and I'm maybe not connected to that. And so how do we like do that in a more tangible way?